It is because the bottom of the world is an untouched reservoir of natural resources.
As the ship gets closer, it looks like debris stuck in the iceberg. But what is it?
Admiral Richard E. Byrd, a decorated officer honored with the Medal of Honor, spoke of alien bases, covert government projects, and countless disappearances beneath the frozen ice of Antarctica. His words, now more than ever, carry a weight that the government seems desperate to bury. Why are countless scientists vanishing from Antarctica without explanation? Let us explore Byrd's horrific discovery in the darkest corners of these frostbitten projects. The hidden truths behind Byrd's expeditions. If Byrd's statements are accurate, it means that our understanding of Antarctica is completely wrong. It also implies that our government might be misleading us, feeding us false information about an entire continent. The thought that a whole civilization exists there, hidden from public knowledge, challenges everything we think we know about the world. This isn't just a small oversight, it's a colossal untruth, possibly the biggest ever told by our leaders. The real question then becomes, why go to such lengths to hide the truth about Antarctica? Byrd was an explorer like no other. His desire to be first in everything, from exploring unknown territories to receiving medals, drove him to the most remote corners of the Earth. He was particularly obsessed with Antarctica, organizing several trips there. Some of these were funded by the government, which makes you wonder about their motives. His first trip was in 1928, and he used his own money and contributions from those who believed in his cause. Byrd wasn't just exploring. He was on a mission to uncover what was truly there. Throughout his expeditions, Byrd and his team took numerous photographs and studied geological samples, maintaining constant contact with the outside world through radio. Despite these detailed studies, his claim about a populated Antarctica suggests there might be significant findings that were never shared with the public. His expeditions, particularly the ones funded by the US government, might have had hidden objectives beyond simple exploration. Consider his second expedition, where Byrd spent 5 months alone at a meteorological station, nearly dying from carbon monoxide poisoning due to inadequate ventilation. This incident highlights the dangerous and isolated conditions under which he worked. It also suggests that these expeditions were about more than just scientific discovery. Perhaps they were also about keeping certain findings out of the public eye. Byrd's accounts and his numerous honors portray him as a national hero and a pioneering explorer. Yet his shocking statements about Antarctica invite skepticism. Was he revealing a hidden truth, or was he part of a broader deception orchestrated by powerful forces? The government's involvement in financing his later expeditions adds another layer of complexity. What exactly were they looking for in Antarctica? And what did they find that needed to be kept so quiet? These questions make us rethink not just Byrd's legacy, but also the role of government in controlling information. The possibility that an entire continent's true nature could be so drastically different from what is publicly acknowledged is disturbing. It suggests that there could be significant elements of our global understanding that are fabricated. This isn't just about whether Antarctica is icy or inhabited. It's about how much we can trust the information that shapes our worldview. When considering Byrd's claims, we must critically assess the broader implications of such a monumental cover-up. While the general public was told stories of brave scientific and strategic missions to Antarctica, a closer inspection reveals a less flattering picture. Operation Highjump, stretching from 1946 to 1947, moved beyond simple exploration into a realm of political power games, disguised as a mission to set up a research base on the Ross Ice Shelf called Little America. Admiral Richard Byrd was not just sent to Antarctica for research. The real push behind this expedition came from the lessons learned during World War II, when American military equipment struggled in extreme cold. Ships and aircraft frequently broke down in the harsh conditions of the Arctic, proving ineffective and unreliable. Operation Highjump was organized as a solution to these issues. Officially, it was about testing gear and claiming uncharted lands, but it also seemed geared towards preparing for future conflicts, particularly against the Soviets. The operation was called off earlier than expected, despite being declared a success. This abrupt end raises questions about the true goals of the mission. Was everything completed as planned, or was there another, hidden reason for the sudden wrap-up? After the operation, American ships and planes quickly underwent modifications to handle cold climates, almost as if in preparation for a standoff with the Soviet Union in a frozen battlefield. However, the scale of the military deployment for what was called a test mission suggests other motives. Sending 14 ships, 33 aircraft, and about 4,700 men, all heavily armed, seems excessive for just a drill. The task force included 2 destroyer tankers, armed seaplanes, and a submarine, all equipped with top-line weapons. This level of firepower implies that the mission might have been about more than just scientific research. At the same time, Germany was making its own moves towards Antarctica. In December 1938, as Hitler prepared for war, he pursued help from various, even unconventional sources. One of his initiatives was a secret expedition to Antarctica by the SS Schwabenland, carrying scientists, engineers, and members of the Thule Society, a German group fascinated by occult beliefs. They thought a highly advanced race of humans called Aryans lived inside the Earth, with an entrance at the South Pole. Their goal was to find this entry, establish a secret base, and possibly gain powerful new allies and technologies for the war. The close timing and resources shared between these American and German efforts suggest more than a coincidence. They hint at a covert competition. Both nations seem to be racing to make strategic gains in Antarctica under the guise of scientific missions. This rivalry points to a larger global contest for power that extended into unexpected and inhospitable territories like Antarctica. The operations were possibly part of early Cold War maneuvers, involving secretive strategies and advanced technologies, aimed at gaining an upper hand before open hostilities erupted. Such extensive preparations and hidden agendas behind these so-called scientific expeditions reveal a world of international intrigue and power plays, far removed from the official tales of heroic exploration and scientific achievement. The dual use of these missions for military testing and geopolitical positioning reflects a complex web of motives and strategies, indicating that these were not mere voyages of discovery, but strategic moves on a global chessboard. The SS Schwabenland arrived at the Antarctic coast and began a large mapping project. They found a strange area about 150 miles inland that was unlike typical icy Antarctica. This spot had no ice, warm water, and lots of plants, thanks to a natural heat source from underground. It was perfect for setting up a base, so the Nazis built a huge underground facility there called Base 211. During World War II, this base grew into a massive complex, almost like a small city. Worried by these developments, the US government started Operation High Jump, Byrd's tale of flying discs and crystal cities. This was meant to be a long mission to check out the area and test their equipment in extreme conditions. However, the mission ended suddenly after just 40 days. The official reason given was that winter was coming early and the weather was getting worse. But this didn't make sense since it was actually summer in Antarctica, the warmest time of the year. The thin explanation led people to wonder if there was more to the story. Admiral Byrd was talking to the American public on a live radio broadcast when suddenly no one could hear him for nearly 3 hours. Later, from his diary, the public learned about his strange flight over a valley that shouldn't have been there. This valley had forests and strange animals that looked out of place in icy Antarctica, including creatures that looked like ancient mammoths. Byrd's navigation tools stopped working, and he lost sight of the sun, which was crucial for finding his way. Then Byrd saw a city and was surrounded by flying discs that glowed and had symbols like swastikas on them. His radio started working again, and he heard a voice with a Nordic or Germanic accent telling him they would help him land safely. Despite feeling uneasy, Byrd had no control as his plane's engine stopped and he was forced to land. These events led to many people questioning what was really going on in Antarctica. The presence of a heat-filled, plant-rich area so far inland, the sudden ending of a significant military operation, and Byrd's unbelievable encounter suggested that there was much more happening in Antarctica than what was shared with the public. The fact that these occurrences were wrapped in military secrecy only added to the intrigue and speculation about the true nature of the activities in this remote, icy land. A group of unusually tall blonde men approached Byrd's plane. They guided him into a dazzling city that seemed to be made out of materials that shone like crystals, right out of a fantasy book. Inside this shiny city, he was led to a large building where he met a person known as the Master. This Master revealed that they were in a hidden part of Earth called the domain of the Ariani, supporting the idea that the Earth might be hollow with different layers and possibly inhabited spaces inside. The Master explained that they had to stop Byrd to deliver a critical message about how destructive the surface world could be, especially pointing out the recent atomic bombings in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. He mentioned that this wasn't the first time they tried to communicate with the surface world's leaders, but no one listened to them before. With a mix of disappointment and hope, the Master talked about a potential grim future where many could suffer. But he also believed that some people would survive and use old wisdom and treasures to start anew. After sharing this message, Byrd was quickly sent back to his plane, which seemed to fly on its own back to the normal world. His radio, which hadn't worked while he was in the city, suddenly started working again, and he could speak to the Navy. On March 11, 1947, shortly after he had to cut his journey short, Byrd was brought to a meeting at the Pentagon to share what he had experienced. What followed was like something out of a spy movie. He was held for several hours, questioned by top security officials and doctors, and then ordered to keep quiet about everything he saw and heard in the Crystal City. Byrd agreed to these orders and hardly spoke about his experiences after Operation High Jump. This entire episode, while fascinating, sounds more like a plot from a sci-fi movie than a slice of real history. It's filled with elements that seem too perfect and detailed, like a city that shines like crystals and advanced beings, warning about human mistakes. The story pulls us in with its dramatic descriptions and the idea of a hidden world under our feet, offering a blend of warning and wonder. However, the real intrigue often lies not in proving such tales true, but in the thrill they offer, skirting the edges between what's believable and purely imaginative. The compelling part of such stories is how they challenge our understanding of reality, presenting a blend of known facts and speculative fiction that teases the mind. They craft a vivid image of a world beyond our grasp, which fascinates us with what could be rather than what is. After his death, the diary of Admiral Byrd was made public, sparking a lot of talk. In an interview he gave in Chile after coming back from his polar journey, Byrd mentioned an adversary that could swiftly travel from one pole to the other. Many believed he was hinting at encountering an advanced civilization at the South Pole. Adding fuel to these speculations was the death of James Forrestal, the Secretary of Defense, who had pushed for public disclosure about aliens and died under controversial circumstances, falling from a window in a psychiatric hospital shortly after a military operation called High Jump. Many people challenged the truth of Byrd's diary, suggesting it was just made up. They also questioned whether Byrd ever truly reached the North Pole, despite him being recognized for this achievement until he died. These personal doubts are minor compared to the questions surrounding the Antarctica Treaty. Signed by countries worldwide in the 1960s, this treaty made Antarctica a place only certain people, like scientists with special permissions, could visit. This has led many to wonder about the real reasons behind such strict control and what might be hidden on the frozen continent. Moreover, the frequent reports of unidentified flying objects in the area add another layer to the ongoing intrigue. Although many government bodies have dismissed these sightings, they align too closely with Byrd's accounts and theories of a hollow Earth to be ignored easily. Byrd's own unexplained disappearance for 3 hours during his expedition, the strange circumstances surrounding the link to the mission, and the tight restrictions on who can visit Antarctica only add to the ongoing discussion. While official statements often provide logical explanations, the abundance of unresolved questions and controlled information flow suggests there might be important truths kept away from the public eye. Antarctica, the coldest continent at the world's bottom, wrapped in ice and standing alone, often fuels wild ideas and stories, especially about UFOs and hidden bases, the dual faces of Antarctica's legacy. Because it's so far away and so vast, it's easy to see why it attracts tales of alien encounters and concealed operations. The story of secret Nazi bases in Antarctica keeps popping up, sparked by a German trip in the late 1930s. This trip, which some argue was to set up a secret Nazi stronghold, added to the lore, especially when post-war sightings of German submarines near Argentina suggested they might be resupplying a hidden base deep in Antarctica's ice. Additionally, the American Operation High Jump, which was officially just a military drill in tough conditions, is rumored by some to have had a darker purpose: to take out this Nazi base. But these ideas don't hold much water. Experts have pointed out that these missions were actually quite ordinary. UFO sightings also keep the pot stirring in Antarctica. Countless videos and photos claim to show alien ships or bases, with one famous video alleging to reveal a crash site. However, experts have debunked these, explaining them as simple ice formations. Despite no solid proof, the theories continue, supported by vague images from satellites that some say show signs of extraterrestrial life, though they're likely just natural parts of the landscape. The intrigue doesn't stop there. The Piri Reis map of 1513, according to some, shows Antarctica without its icy cover, suggesting that people knew about and even lived on the continent long before modern explorers. This leads some to believe that ancient advanced societies might have once thrived there. However, this clashes with scientific data showing that Antarctica has been icy for millions of years. The idea that ancient people could have known such detailed geographic information about an ice-free Antarctica is more fiction than fact. The hollow Earth theory takes the mystery even further, suggesting enormous openings at the poles, including Antarctica, which lead to a hidden world inside the Earth. This idea was supposedly confirmed by Admiral Richard E. Byrd's secret diary entries from his polar expeditions. Yet these claims are largely considered to be made up, lacking any real evidence. Among these theories, some believe that pyramids are hidden under Antarctica's ice, pointing to images of pyramid-like shapes in the mountains as proof. However, these shapes are generally accepted by scientists as natural outcomes of glacial movements, not the work of ancient builders. The military presence in Antarctica has also sparked its share of tales. Some suggest that the military is there to protect hidden technologies or cover up alien interactions. In reality, however, military activities are tightly controlled under the Antarctic Treaty, which allows only for logistical support in scientific endeavors. This hasn't stopped people from guessing about secret military missions on the icy continent. What's truly fascinating about Antarctica isn't the made-up stories of aliens or hidden civilizations, but the real unfolding discoveries about the environment. As the ice melts, new areas are exposed, offering fresh insights into the Earth's climate history and the potential for new biological discoveries. These real discoveries, backed by science, reveal much about Antarctica's role in global climate patterns and what that might mean for our future. These are the authentic areas of interest, rooted in fact and observation, that merit real attention and study, far more than the fantastical tales that often dominate conversations about this remote and icy land. From vast under-ice rivers to eerie singing ice shelves, the White Continent is a realm of wonder and enigma. Frozen secrets beneath the ice. One of the most intriguing discoveries is the hidden world beneath Antarctica's ice. Scientists have uncovered a vast network of subglacial rivers, lakes, and estuaries. These waterways, cut off from sunlight and most life forms, harbor unique ecosystems. For example, under the Thwaites ice shelf, researchers found a mysterious under-ice community teeming with life. These creatures, adapted to the dark, cold environment, offer clues about possible life in other extreme environments, such as the moons of Jupiter and Saturn. Another fascinating find is the Gomburtsev mountain range, hidden beneath 2 to 4 kilometers of ice. Discovered in 1958 by Russian scientists, this range stretches for 1,200 kilometers and rises to 3,000 meters. The mountains, bafflingly preserved despite being around 1 billion years old, challenge our understanding of geological processes. Scientists speculate that a frozen mantle may protect them from erosion, but their exact formation and preservation remain a mystery. Antarctica also boasts the Ross Ice Shelf, which produces an eerie, almost musical sound. This massive slab of ice, the largest in Antarctica, vibrates due to winds blowing across its surface, creating seismic tones. Though inaudible to human ears, these vibrations are recorded by seismic sensors, revealing a constantly changing song, influenced by environmental conditions like melting or shifting snow. In 2017, a giant polynya, a hole the size of Ireland, opened in the Weddell Sea. This 78,000 square kilometer opening in the ice baffled scientists, as it was the largest seen since the 1970s. Formed by warm, salty water rising to the surface and melting the ice, the Polynesia's creation is not fully understood, though it may involve complex oceanic and atmospheric interactions. Antarctica's subterranean secrets extend to vast volcanic provinces and warm subglacial caves. Under the ice, scientists have discovered an extensive volcanic region with activity influencing ice dynamics. Additionally, subglacial caves, warmed by geothermal heat, create pockets where life might exist, insulated from the frigid surface temperatures. One of the most dramatic revelations came from the Larsen Ice Shelf, where researchers drilled over 1,600 feet to discover a subsurface river brimming with life. This hidden ecosystem, with its unique layering of water currents, was a surprise challenging previous models of subglacial environments. The discovery was made even more remarkable by coinciding with the eruption of the Hunga Tonga Hunga Ha'apai volcano, whose pressure waves were detected in the sub-ice channel, highlighting the interconnectedness of Earth's systems. Antarctica's ancient past also holds fascinating clues. Before becoming a frozen desert, it was a warm region with rainforests and possibly even civilizations. Fossils of tropical trees, marine animals, and dinosaurs reveal a radically different landscape millions of years ago. Among these finds are the remnants of a massive plesiosaur, a marine reptile that once prowled the Antarctic seas, adding to the continent's prehistoric allure. In recent years, scientists have discovered hidden ecosystems in Antarctica's under-ice realms, from ghostly anemones glowing with bioluminescence to see-through ice fish adapted to the extreme cold. These findings not only expand our understanding of life on Earth, but also provide insights into how organisms might survive in similar conditions elsewhere in the universe. In the icy expanse of Antarctica, where the wind howls through the desolate landscape, legends of mysterious creatures roaming the frozen continent persist. Antarctica's legendary beasts. Antarctica's harsh, inhospitable environment seems an unlikely home for mythical beasts, yet stories of their existence continue to captivate the imagination. One of the most famous legends is that of the ningen. This creature, whose name means human in Japanese, is described as a massive humanoid being up to 98 feet long. The ningen is said to have pale, almost translucent skin, and its eyes and mouth resemble those of a human. Reports of its appearance vary, with some witnesses claiming it has fins or mermaid-like features, while others describe it as having arms and legs. The ningen is believed to inhabit the icy waters around Antarctica, emerging only occasionally, shrouded in mystery and fear. Its elusive nature fuels speculation about whether it is a new species, an undiscovered marine mammal, or merely an iceberg mistaken for a living creature. Another chilling tale from the icy south is that of the Antarctic Godzilla. This colossal creature, reminiscent of the famous Japanese kaiju, is said to dwell beneath the thick ice sheets. Sightings describe a massive reptilian monster with sharp teeth and a menacing presence. Although primarily a figure of local folklore, some speculate that the legend may have roots in prehistoric times, when dinosaurs roamed the land that would become Antarctica. The discovery of fossils from the Cretaceous period, including large marine reptiles, lends a hint of plausibility to these terrifying stories. The blood falls of Antarctica are another source of eerie fascination. This natural phenomenon, located in the McMurdo Dry Valleys, is a bright crimson waterfall that pours out of Taylor Glacier into Lake Bonny. The water that feeds Blood Falls was once a salty lake now cut off from the atmosphere due to the formation of glaciers on top of it. Preserved 1,312 feet underground, the water has become extremely rich in iron and devoid of oxygen and sunlight. As it seeps through a fissure in the glacier and comes into contact with the air, the iron oxidizes, staining the water a dark red color, making it look like a gush of blood from a wound in the ice. In addition to these strange phenomena, Antarctica is home to some of the most unusual and resilient creatures on Earth. Beneath the massive ice sheets, scientists have discovered a number of unusual species that have adapted to the harsh environment. There are microbes, crustaceans, colossal squid, and leggy spiders the size of dinner plates. One of the most fascinating creatures is the icefish, which has large eyes and translucent skin through which its internal organs can be seen. These fish have antifreeze glycoproteins in their blood, allowing them to survive in the freezing waters. Another mysterious legend from the icy continent is that of the southern pole monster. This creature is said to be a gigantic, elusive beast that roams the frozen wilderness. Descriptions of the monster vary, but it is often depicted as a massive, fur-covered animal with sharp claws and a fearsome growl. Some believe the southern pole monster is a surviving relic from a time when Antarctica was a warmer, forested region. The singing ice phenomenon adds another layer of mystery to Antarctica. The Ross Ice Shelf, the largest ice shelf in Antarctica, sings an eerie melody caused by the winds blowing across the snow dunes. These winds create surface vibrations and almost non-stop seismic tones. The vibrations are not audible to human ears, but scientists use seismic sensors to listen to the mournful tune. This song changes in response to the environment, such as melting or storms shifting the snow, and scientists now use it as a tool to monitor the ice shelf in real time, tracking its stability and vulnerability to collapse. Antarctica also hides ancient secrets beneath its vast ice sheets. The Gomburtsev mountain range, for instance, is a massive mountain range buried under a 1.2 to 2.5 mile thick sheet of ice. Stretching for 746 miles, these mountains rise to 9,843 feet, about a third of the height of Mount Everest. Scientists discovered these mountains using radar, gravitational, and magnetic readings. The Gomburtsevs have long baffled scientists as to how they were formed and why they still exist, given their age of around 1 billion years. Some theories suggest that a frozen mantle might protect the mountains from erosion. Another enigmatic feature of Antarctica is the giant hole, known as a polynya, which opened in the Weddell Sea in 2017. Spanning 30,116 square miles, it is the largest hole observed since the 1970s. Formed due to the warmer, saltier water found in the deeper parts of the sea, the polynya remains a mystery to scientists. They believe marine mammals might use these openings to breathe, but the exact reasons for their creation and their impact on the environment are still under study. Mount Erebus, Antarctica's southernmost active volcano, adds to the continent's array of natural wonders. Towering to 12,467 feet, it has increased in volcanic activity over the last 30 years. Despite the extreme conditions, a team of scientists managed to climb the volcano in 2013, discovering organisms living in the heat of the volcano and a number of ice caves with thriving microorganisms in the soil. These extreme creatures are considered some of the most unique in the world. These legends and natural phenomena paint a picture of Antarctica as a land of mystery and wonder, where the line between reality and myth blurs. Whether these tales are born from the imagination or have roots in unexplained events, they continue to captivate those who hear them, adding to the allure of the frozen continent. So what do you think is really happening in Antarctica? Are Byrd's extraordinary accounts a glimpse into hidden truths? Or are they elaborate tales crafted to stir the imagination? Could there be an advanced civilization concealed beneath the icy surface? Or is it all just a fantastical story? Drop your theories in the comments, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more.